All right, welcome back. Today, we're diving into one of the most famous and widely used integrated circuits of all time, the 555 timer IC. This tiny chip has been around since the 1970s, and it's still going strong today. The 555 timer is incredibly versatile. It can act as a timer, a pulse generator, or an oscillator depending on how we connect it. Let's break it down. The 555 timer is an 8-pin chip designed to generate precise time delays and oscillators. Inside the chip are things like comparators, a flip-flop, a discharge transistor, and a voltage divider. And all of these parts work together to generate timed pulses, measure delays, and create waveforms like square waves for blinking lights or tone generators. Before we use it, let's understand its 8 pins. Pin 1 is ground. Pin 2 is the trigger, which starts the timing cycle. And when pin 2 goes high, the 555 timer produces an output. Pin 3 is the output, and that goes high or low. Pin 4 is the reset, which is optional and it just resets the chip. Pin 5 is the control voltage, and this one's usually unused, so we don't really have to worry too much about that one. Pin 6 is the threshold, and this monitors the capacitor's voltage. Pin 7 is the discharge, which discharges the capacitor. And pin 8 is VCC, or our power supply. Usually VCC, at least for the context of our circuits, is just going to mean battery power. We'll see how these all work in our next lab, so for now, we'll just stick to talking about the different modes of the 555 timer. The 555 timer can operate in 3 different modes. First, we have astable mode, also known as oscillator mode. And in this mode, the output continuously switches between high and low. So it oscillates up and down, up and down, up and down, hence the name. And the high and low times are set by these equations. They depend on the resistor and capacitor values you choose. This creates a square wave, and it never settles. It just keeps oscillating. And this is great for blinking LEDs, making beeps, or generating clock signals, which we'll talk about much later on. Secondly, there's monostable mode, also known as one-shot timer mode. And here, when triggered, it produces a single pulse. After a delay, it just resets itself. And this is usually used for things like timers, delays, or PWM control. Again, timing's all in the math. Resistors and capacitors decide how long the pulse lasts. For example, think of pressing a button which activates a buzzer for exactly 1 second. Third, and finally, we have bistable mode or toggle mode. And this one acts like a flip-flop. It stays on or off until another input tells it to switch. This one is no automatic switching. It waits for your signal to switch again. A clear example of this one is a touch-sensitive switch that toggles an LED on or off depending on when you press it. So how do I know all this? One word: datasheets. A datasheet is a technical document from the manufacturer that tells us everything about a component. It includes the voltage range it needs, the current limits, the pin descriptions, and most importantly, timing formulas. Let me show you how to read one. Look for the power supply range. It's usually 4.5 to 15 volts. Then you want to check the maximum current it can handle. If you exceed this maximum current, you will release the magic smoke from your IC and it will burn out and no longer work. Next, find the timing formulas. In astable mode, frequency, or F, is equal to 1.44 divided by R1 plus 2 times R2 times C. In monostable mode, the pulse width, or capital T, is equal to 1.1 times R times C. Then, check the pinout diagram to wire it correctly. Seriously, never skip the datasheet. They all look alike on the outside, but the inside's totally different and save you hours of headache. Try giving it a shot. Open up a 555 timer datasheet We link one below, or you can also ask Google for help. Look for the voltage range, the maximum output current, and the timing equations yourself. And here's your challenge. Find the threshold voltage needed to reset the timer. Then calculate what resistor and capacitor you need to get a 1-second pulse in monostable mode. Let's review our key takeaways from today. The 555 timer is a legend in electronics. It's versatile, reliable, and easy to use. It has 3 powerful modes. It has astable mode, which is the repeating one. We have monostable mode, which is a one-shot mode. And we have bistable mode, which is the toggle back and forth mode. Last thing to review, datasheets are your best friend. They give you the blueprint for how to use any IC correctly and confidently. In our next lesson, we'll talk about what PWM is. We sprinkled it a little bit here in this lecture, but we never really talked about what it was. After that, we'll build real circuits using the 555 timer in all 3 modes. From blinking lights to delayed reactions, you'll be able to do it all. We'll see you in the next one. And don't forget, post your 555 timer circuit and tag us at Horizon Robotics Lab. See you later. If you like what you've seen so far, you should visit our website and check out our electronics and coding kit. It comes with all the videos, all the lessons, all the code, all the labs, and all the project files. So yeah, link in the description and happy learning.